Welcome back to the VA Rebellion podcast, the podcast for virtual assistant business owners who are done winging it, done being just the admin and ready to run a real business with real confidence and real profit. This is the show where we challenge outdated industry norms, raise the standard for what it means to be a VA, and talk honestly about building a business that feels powerful, profitable, and aligned. In today's episode, we're continuing the money conversation, but from a slightly different angle. Because even when you know your numbers, a lot of business owners still feel cash tight, not because they aren't earning enough, but because of how and when money moves through their business. And that's exactly what we're unpacking today. I'm joined by Nishane, who leads partnerships at pay.com.au, one of Australia's fastest growing B2B payments and rewards platforms. As an early employee, Nishane has played a key role in shaping pay.com.au's commercial and strategic partnerships and helping grow its rewards ecosystem. At its core, pay.com.au helps business owners rethink how they pay their bills and expenses, turning things like supplier invoices, rent, payroll, and even BAS or ATO payments into an opportunity to earn rewards while also improving flexibility and control over cash flow. And when Nishane isn't working on partnerships or payment strategy, you'll probably find him deep in research on how to squeeze maximum value out of reward points, ideally resulting in a seat at the pointy end of the plane. Nishane, welcome to the VA Rebellion podcast. I'm really looking forward to this conversation.
Thanks so much for having me, Kerrie. Me too. Really looking forward to dive into the nitty-gritty.
Yes, and who doesn't want to be at the pointy end of the plane, right?
Absolutely.
So I want to start with the reality most business owners are living in. So most are simply paying bills and invoices because they have to without ever thinking about the value of those payments.
Mhm.
Can you share the story behind pay.com.au and the problem it was created to solve for small businesses?
Yeah, sure. So I think there was a few problems when the business was started quite early on. The first one was a lot of customers had, a lot of SMEs had a credit card, but they were limited with, I guess, how many supplier payments that they can actually use using a credit card. I believe only 5 to 10% of actual invoices were eligible to be paid with a credit card. So we thought there's a massive opportunity for businesses to actually utilize our platform to actually pay up to 100% of their business expenses using a credit card. Now, the key benefits of that, for those customers that have high reward earning credit cards, you really start to rack up and accelerate the number of points that you can earn on every transaction. But there's also a nice little cash flow benefit that associated with using a credit card. So most credit cards have up to 55 days interest free. So as long as you actually are leveraging those 55 days, it's a nice little cash flow boost for the business. Obviously, you don't want to go over that because then if you're paying more than 20 to 25% interest. But it's a great lever if you want a little bit of extra cash flow to pay things like payroll, rent, etc.
Yep. And a lot of traditional business payments like BAS, ATO, payroll, and rent that you just mentioned usually don't earn any rewards at all, right?
That's correct. The ATO actually does enable you to use a credit card to pay bills, but a lot of business owners are actually not privy to the fact that you only earn typically half your points on every transaction. So we've actually bridged that gap as well. So no matter who you're paying through our platform, you're always earning your full credit card reward points. As a payment stacks up, you're looking at $50,000, $100,000 BAS bills. The number of points that you can actually earn on that transaction really starts to stack up.
Oh, it would, especially when they're that big, right? So why do you think that they do? Why does that actually matter for business owners, like making sure that they capture every single point and not, missing out on, especially on the BAS and the ATO? Anything related?
Well, every point matters. I'll give you a really simple example. I know I'm talking 100,000 points. To a lot of people that doesn't really mean much. To me, knowing a bit more about, I guess, how to effectively use points. 50,000 Qantas points, you're almost, I think it's roughly around 63,000 points. You can get a business class trip to Singapore. So that one payment basically has unlocked you a $2,000 to $3,000 flight used in the right way. So it's quite powerful once you actually dive into the numbers and actually figure out how you can use those points effectively.
How exciting. I could just imagine how many flights you can start to do with all those points because they all add up so quickly.
Exactly, exactly. So I guess that was one side of why pay.com.au was started. The other side was we realized a lot of business owners didn't actually have a credit card or want to take out a credit card. So we thought there was a massive opportunity in the market to actually create a rewards proposition for SMEs to actually earn points on bank transfers. So that's what we've done. We've launched Pay Rewards. So Pay Rewards is our own proprietary rewards proposition. We've gone out and built partnerships with 12 different airlines, the likes of Singapore Airlines, Qantas, Velocity, Qatar, Cathay Pacific, giving you access to pretty much any country in the world. We've partnered with 4 hotel partners as well. So it's one thing to, I guess, travel to your end destination in style, but it's another to actually book accommodation. And then apart from that, points can be redeemed for a multitude of things, including gift cards. When cash was a bit tight, some customers actually choose to convert their points to actually pay off business invoices as well. So there's no limit as to what you can essentially use the points through us for.
There you go. I like the added bonus there of the hotels because not all rewards programs do that. They just do the flights, right?
Correct, correct. So we've got the whole end to end, and some of our business owners, especially on business travel, that they're saving anywhere between 30 to 70% off the actual travel. So it's a great savings overall.
That's insane. So, letting business owners earn full points on the payments they wouldn't normally get anything back from, how can that become part of a smart financial strategy rather than just a nice perk, do you think?
Yeah, so I think it just comes back to knowing how to use the points. Like I said, if you're a business owner, you have to travel, say, once a year to US. A lot of our customers that come to us are doing those trips. They're earning, a decent amount of money, but they're doing those long trips in economy. I always say when you're flying in economy, your trip actually only starts once you get to the destination. With
Yes.
when you're flying business, however, it's a whole experience, right? You're excited from the night before, you get to the airport, you go to the lounge, you actually get excited arriving early at the airport as opposed to coming in, lining up in a massive long queue. But let's just say, for example, you were to pay, a few $1,000s for economy. When using the right way, you can pay that same amount through pay.com.au in fees and actually get enough points to fly a business class flight. So it's just about actually knowing how to effectively monitor the points, use the points, and use them effectively.
Awesome. And so for someone who runs a service-based business like VAs, what kind of payments make the most sense to put through that platform?
Yeah, I'd assume a lot of the ongoing supplier payments would be a big one. If they have any international payments, this is something that we just launched quite recently. So you can actually pay any kind of FX invoices to more than 35 countries, which I can imagine would be a big one. Any rental lease payments, ATO VAS lodgements, what else do we have? Um, I think a great way as well is from a VA standpoint, you can actually refer a lot of their clients onto the platform as well, because I guess there's a good benefit for them as well in the future.
Oh yes, the referral program's pretty good. I've used that myself. It's definitely worth it. So once those points are earned, what are some of the higher impact ways that you see them use them, other than just probably getting those business class flights? Is there something really big and special that you've seen? What does it look like in the real world, kind of thing?
Yeah, I'd say you're always going to get quite a high return when you're using your points for flights.
Yep.
But now our rewards program has really evolved. So points can actually be transferred out to staff members, clients. So it's a great way we see at least in rewarding your staff and actually even using as a way to kind of uh, reward clients as well. The points are fully transferable. I think gift cards go a long way in kind of telling your staff that they're doing a great job. So
Yep.
yeah, we've really kind of thought quite thoroughly about creating that fully flexible reward or redemption opportunity for customers.
Yeah, nice. Nice. So being able to pay by card or bank transfer, even if the supplier doesn't normally accept it, is obviously a really great flexibility feature that you have. And what would that change the business owners and how they manage cash flow? How does that kind of impact them, do you think?
Yeah, so I think the first thing that I think we're also trying to solve is just having being able to process all your payments in the one centralized platform. A lot of times it gets very tricky when you're paying, one invoice here, another through your bank account. So customer that SME or business owner VA doesn't actually have to exit our platform. You can essentially process all your payments in the one platform. That's quite handy. But like I said, when you actually utilize a credit card to its full potential, if you're really kind of understanding that how many days of interest that you actually get, you can really start to also tap into the cash flow benefits as well.
And you can integrate some accounting platforms like Xero and things like that.
Correct. We currently have a direct integration with Xero. So again, it just makes the whole payment flow quite seamless, from entering the payment to actually reconciling it back into your accounting platform.
Yep.
Um, but yes, we have a few more accounting software integrations in the pipeline as well.
Oh, excellent. And so you also can put credit cards in there in your wallet, right?
Yes, so you actually have the capability of through the platform to upload as many credit cards as you want, as many bank accounts as you want as well. A little bit of a tip that I always use. So wherever I can, I'm putting literally everything on my credit card. It's actually crazy. Even if there's a surcharge, because I know if you're I'll give you a good example. If the transaction fee on an Amex card is less than 2%, I'm always going to use my credit card no matter what.
Yep.
What I do with any income that I earn, I actually put all of that money into an offset account. So what I'm doing is, let's just say it's $10,000 in the offset account. I'm
Yep.
actually reducing the interest owed on my investment property. Then I basically wait 40 days before I actually pay off the credit card as well. So I'm just leveraging
Yep.
my money and just using it in a more effective way to actually pay down my property
Yeah.
faster. So there are little hacks like that. I guess business owners can also kind of leverage to
And
pay their bills more smartly.
and so can it sometimes, so say you've got like a Velocity card or
Mhm.
Qantas frequent flyer card and you use that through pay.com. So does that then mean when the transaction goes through the credit card, not only does a credit card give you points, but pay.com does too?
Correct. So you
It's
actually
like
do have the
double,
option to double. We call it double dip. I think that's a nice.
double dipping. How
Yeah.
good.
So in every
Normally that's not allowed
transaction.
anywhere.
So yeah, in every transaction, you can actually choose to earn our reward points as well.
Nice. I like that. That's a very powerful hack, I think. So everyone should note that one down.
Yeah.
So, um, when you were talking about using the interest-free period, and I really like the example that you did, and it demonstrates how to kind of use that working capital sometimes responsibly. And obviously,
Mhm.
both of us aren't accountants, so, check with them about what you're allowed to do.
Mhm.
But for solo operators or micro teams, reoccurring expenses can also be a really big mental load. So how does pay.com.au help simplify or automate things like rent, super, or payroll payments?
Yeah, so to that point of recurring payments, we actually have the ability for them to just set and forget. So you can link your credit card, set up the pay, you can set up the different frequency types. So say if you wanted to pay your rent every month, that just comes out of your credit card every month through the platform. So one less thing for, I guess, the business owner to worry about. We're all about simplification. And yeah, the less you have to think about and you can actually focus just on running the business, I think that's a win-win for everyone.
Yeah. The other thing that I really like about it, because I'm obviously a user and a big fan, right? But
I'll give you
one of
some
the
points for that later.
that's it. Woo! Not paid in advance. No. Um, one of the things that I really like, and I see this across multiple business owners that we do work with, is that when you have to pay things constantly, you don't want employees having access to your bank accounts. So I think that pay.com.au is really good way to kind of give your employee access to process those on your behalf without actually giving them full access to a bank.
Yeah, and we've put some really strong thoughts into, the different kind of permissions each user has. Say, for example, if you just wanted to give your bookkeeper access to upload payments, but not actually authorize them, it's nice because if you're you're a business owner, you can come at the end of the day and just approve all those payments in one go. The fact that you can actually link your bank account to our platform as well, it's a great security enhancement as well, because you don't actually need to give your bookkeeper accountant access to your bank account, which has been a massive draw card for a lot of our clients and customers. One, just from a security standpoint. Another kind of great security feature, we have very, very strong compliance checks. So whenever a customer is paying an invoice, we do checks on the actual ABNs that are being paid. So we try to minimize any sort of fraudulent risks as well, right? I think nowadays invoice fraud is on the rise. So I think we take security and compliance at Pay very, very seriously.
Yeah, that's really good. I like that. So when people hear about optimizing payments, rewards, and systems, it can start to feel a little bit overwhelming. And I can admit to that was me at the beginning. But where do you recommend a business starts so that it feels simple, supportive, and not intimidating?
Yeah, well, I think our team does a great job. So as part of any kind of customer onboarding, our team actually sit with a lot of our clients and understand their goals and where they want to essentially use their points towards. I think a great tip, if you're wanting to use us just to really accumulate points, is kind of reverse engineer everything and figure out, I guess, where you want to do that one big trip a year. Once you've got that planned out, then you need to just figure out, I guess, which airlines get you there. Once you've got that figured out, then I think it's easy to kind of understand maybe which cards give you the most points for every dollar that you spend. We've obviously got our own rewards proposition as well, so we can help supercharge and boost the points on every dollar. But I think we've also taken it one step further. We've got our own in-house travel concierge. So when you've accumulated all these points, I think the biggest thing is no one knows what to do with them, right? So they can just come to us, we can sit with them, and we can actually plan out their whole itinerary using the points that they've earned as well.
Oh, perfect. I'll have to book that in soon. Are there any common mistakes that you see business owners make with rewards or payment systems that actually end up costing them time or money?
Yeah, I think that the most common mistake business owners make, especially earning points, let's just say, for example, with an Amex, uh, just converting it out to a loyalty, an airline provider without actually knowing where they want to travel.
Yep.
What happens with one of our biggest pieces of advice to all SMEs is keep your points sitting in your points bucket. So whether that's Amex points, Pay Reward points, only convert them out once you've actually found a flight or you've come to us and we've helped you secure a flight. The last thing you want to do is, you've earned all these points, but they're sitting in a particular airline, but you can't actually find the flights. So it's very important to kind of keep it flexible and just convert them out once you've essentially found those flights.
And some airlines are harder to get point related flights through, right? So is there bigger culprits that we should be
Correct, correct. So a lot of people say you need to book flights 6 to 12 months in advance when it comes to reward seat bookings.
Yep.
I will say there are certain loopholes or strategies where you can maybe, for example, actually one is if you wanted to get a last minute business class or first class flight, if there's a lot of cancellation. So if you were to go on Qantas, you actually might get lucky if you wanted to go to, let's just say, for example, London today. So
Yep.
that's a little bit of a hack for those wanting last minute trips.
Yep.
But what I also recommend is just kind of splitting up the trip. Instead of going to, let's just say, for example, Qantas website and searching you're traveling from Sydney to London, break that up. So search Sydney to Doha as an example. Flights actually tend to open up when you do that. And then you can obviously just search for the second leg, Doha to London. There's certain hubs that I'd recommend actually looking to get to Europe. For example, if you wanted to go through the Middle East, Doha and Dubai are great options. Through Asia, Singapore, Kuala Lumpur, Bangkok, Vietnam, Hanoi is also becoming quite popular options as well. So this might come as a bit of this might come a bit counterintuitive, but I always book my trips one way each. It just opens up a whole bunch of additional options.
Yeah. Yeah. it gives you more flexibility too, doesn't it, really? It's
100%.
not tied together and yeah.
Yeah.
So it's also important to be realistic, right? Because not pay.com.au is not going to be the right fit for everybody, but what limitations should people be aware of if it's not the right fit for them?
Well, I think the great thing about our platform is if you're an SME, you have the option of actually it's completely free to use the platform. So you have the option to choose, I guess, which payments go through the platform. One thing we tell everyone, it's no point earning all these points if you're not utilizing them. So I think you need to come with a bit of a game plan in how you want to kind of use the points. So whether it's for, travel or staff incentives. So firstly is come up with a strategy of how you want to maybe maximize and utilize the points effectively. But yeah, other than that, it's just working with our team to kind of figure out what those goals are, and we can kind of reverse engineer and take it to the next step.
Do the points ever expire?
No, we don't have a hard expiry. So as long as you've made a transaction within the last 18 months, that kind of points renewal kind of extends.
Oh, that's good because some do, right? Some reward systems actually do expire them.
Some do. I'll give you a bit of a hack with when it comes to Qantas points. So there's an app, I believe it's called Qantas Wellbeing. So as long as you have that running in the background, you essentially earn points just for walking every day. So that kind of renews that I think it's 18 months with Qantas as well. Just
Oh,
renews that, so you're never losing your points. Or you could just fill up at a BP petrol station as well, and
oh
that kind
wow.
of points and
All,
restarts that.
all the stuff in the fine print, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
So beyond the points and the payments themselves, I'm curious about the mindset shift, right? So what broader impact do you see this having on how business owners think about everyday expenses and financial habits?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing for anyone is it's just a shift of actually payments platforms. So I think just migrating from how you currently do things to another, it takes a bit of time. So I think that's the biggest hesitation with someone actually switching over to the platform. I actually recommend having a chat with one of our team, like I said before, and we can kind of work through how to kind of maximize the real benefit on for the business owner.
Yeah, perfect. And do you find that once people feel more in control of those payments and the cash flow, it changes how they make decisions about spending, investing, or growing? Or
Yeah, I
probably
think I
traveling?
think Yeah, I think actually having a budget is a big thing. Because I think that the pitfalls of having a credit card is, you're just going around tapping everywhere. You feel like you're James Bond. There's unlimited pool of funds. So I think it's very important to actually have a budget plan when with anything. So whether that's, with your accountant or bookkeeper, it's very kind of important to have that in track, especially when it comes to managing cash flow.
Yeah. I have found since getting it, like I didn't have a plan when I came in.
Mhm.
I didn't know where I was going to go or what I was going to do, but I knew that I pay the ATO a lot of money and I wanted something for it. So I did that. But what I have found in my particular mindset shift is that now I'm actually going, oh, where can we go? How many points do we have? What can we do? Like, oh, we have to speak to Nish. Like constant conversations. Your ears much must burn because you come up in our household quite often.
That's why I was sneezing the whole of yesterday,
That's
right?
right. Yes, that was us. Yep. Apologies in advance. But I find that it gives like quite a lot of business owners are like, oh yeah, I don't have the cash flow to travel. And I know that there's a lot of people out there that they talk about how, sometimes they do the math on the reward programs and they reckon it doesn't work and what have
Mhm.
you. And that might be great for them. But I'm one of those people that I'm probably not going to put that money away every week,
Mhm.
right? So whatever the fee is that I pay to get my points, I'm not going to pull that aside and put it into a bank every week if I didn't go through pay.com. And the thing that I find fascinating is that but I will process it through your platform, right?
Mhm.
And collect it that way. And I'm more than happy to do that. That's easy for me. That takes the mental load and the steps that I have to go through out
Mhm.
of the way.
Mhm.
And when you're running a business, there's so many decisions that you make every day. And if this is the easiest one, then it just makes it so much better and simpler.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's coming back to just having that centralized platform and having those recurring payment flows set up. It's just one less thing to think about, right?
Yeah.
But I think another great thing is it's nice to kind of have all these points kind of accumulate. So when the time actually does come for you to actually think about where you want to travel, it's just a simple request to come to us and help you actually fulfill that travel dream.
Yeah. And you've got the flexibility in the platform too to have multiple ABNs, right? Because some of our community may have more than one ABN.
Absolutely. So you can set up as many different ABNs if you're the director of the different companies. Like you alluded to earlier, you can set up multiple users as well. So you can get your admin team to actually come on and actually manage the account as well if you like.
How good's that? You don't even have to go and do it yourself.
No, no, no.
So if you had to give every VA listening a simple action they could take this week to start earning more value from their business payments, what would it be?
Sign up to pay.com.au. I think that would be the easiest thing. Um, but yeah, I think you, like I said, you just want to try and simplify your life. So whatever, whether it's a cash flow tool, just invest the time in actually getting the right, whether it's a CRM, payments platform. If you invest the time now, I think it's just going to pay off in the future. I think a lot of people kind of put that off until the workload eventually starts to pile up and it gets too much. Do that from the beginning or try and get that done as soon as possible. It's worth the investment in time and money very early on.
Yeah, yeah, I could definitely attest to that. So I would definitely recommend it. And if anyone wants to join, I will absolutely put my little reward link
Yes.
down in the bottom for everybody so that they
Mhm.
can have their turn. And so, Nish, this has been such a great practical and eye-opening conversation, especially for business owners who already know their numbers but want their money to work harder for them. So thank you so much for breaking this down in a way that feels accessible and strategic.
Thanks, Kerrie. Really appreciate it.
And for our listeners, if this episode shifted how you think about payments, cash flow, or everyday expenses, share it with another VA who needs to hear it. And I'll see you in the next episode of the VA Rebellion podcast.